to the first episode of Uncover Books with Moonchild. Unfortunately, I could not go live today because you have to be approved and it takes 24 hours. I was not aware of that. So we're still going to do the video. So I'm just going to get started. All right, so the book that we will be discussing today is called As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. Now, this book was written in, I believe, 1902. So that's why we got the Thinketh there, okay? It's going to be a little old school, a little Shakespearean, okay, you guys? So, we're just going to go over the first two chapters. I guess you guys can let me know what you think in the comments, any favorite quotes that you have, and whatnot. Since I won't be able to interact with you because I can't go live. So the first chapter is called Thoughts and Character. So the first paragraph we have here, I really like this. I highlighted this. So it says, a man is literally what he thinks, his character being the complete sum of all his thoughts. So whatever you're thinking, that is what's going to show in your character, the thoughts that you're having, okay? Sums up the character of who you are. Very interesting. Let's see. All right. This is on the next page. So I really like this quote here as well, you guys. A noble and godlike character is not a thing of favor or chance, but is the natural result of continued effort in right thinking. The effect of long cherished association with godlike thoughts, an ignoble and bestial character by the same process is the result of the continued harboring of groveling thoughts. So here, what we're saying is when you continue to think godlike or positive or high vibrational, then you will have the effects of those continued thinking. But it does take effort because, you have to go into your thoughts and really take control of what you're thinking, process what it is that you're thinking. If you're constantly thinking negative and groveling thoughts as he used here, then you are going to end up with that negative character. So the thinking is like, I would say, like the seed, and then the results would be the character that you end up displaying. So if you're thinking more positive, you would be more on the positive, or as he used, godlike side. If you were thinking more negative thoughts than positive, then you would be more on that bestial character side, because you're just not controlling your thoughts. You're not putting any effort in. So therefore, you're just wild, like an animal. We don't want to be like that, do we? This is another good one, okay? As a being of power, intelligence, and love, and the Lord of his own thoughts, man holds the key to every situation and contains within himself that transforming and regenerative agency by which he may make himself what he wills. So basically saying here, you have the power and intelligence and love, and you are the master of your own thoughts. So you hold the keys to the situations that you end up and how your character develops. So it's what you think and what you are willing. So if you're constantly thinking that bad things are going to happen, it's like you're manifesting those things to happen. And if you're thinking good things are going to happen to you, and that's what you focus your thoughts on, those are the type of situations and the type of character that you're going to end up having. So you have to understand that you have this power, because a lot of us, what we do, including me, we want to blame the outside circumstances and other people when it really all starts in the mind. Okay, next part. So it says here, if he will watch, control, and alter his thoughts, tracing their effects upon himself, upon others, and upon his life and circumstances, linking cause and effect by patient practice and investigation, and utilizing his every experience, even to the most trivial everyday occurrence, as a mean of obtaining that knowledge of himself, which is understanding, wisdom, and power. That's beautiful. I just love this book, okay? This man is dropping jewels, okay? He got bars. Let's see. What I love about this quote. Well, he's talking about watch and control and alter. Okay? Because me, myself, I'm not going to speak for anyone else, but I know me personally, I struggle with this. Letting my thoughts just run out of control and letting things just happen. So we have to take control, like Janet, okay? And you got to watch those thoughts, okay? When you have a thought, like, slow down. Don't just keep going and spiraling down. Watch what you're thinking and take control. So to me, I feel like every time you have a negative thought, maybe you need to have 3 positive thoughts to go over that, to cancel that out, okay? You got to alter that stuff, okay? Don't just keep thinking that BS that you was thinking. Turn it around. But first you got to watch. If you're not watching, then it's just going to go out of hand, okay? So watch first. Okay? Because, like he said, it's going to start to have an effect upon your life and your circumstance. It's going to have a cause and effect if you're not watching and you're not altering those thoughts. And even to the most trivial thing, the most little, like, crazy thought that you think that, don't even matter. Get control of that. It starts there. And I feel like meditation is a good way to learn to watch and to alter your thoughts. And I need to be more consistent with that. So I need to think, I am consistent, and I'm going to be consistent, and I'm going to get up and meditate every day. All right, so that was chapter 1. So we're going to go over a little chapter 2. See what we think of that. So this chapter is about the effect of thought on your circumstances. So we're going to read the first paragraph. Really good. Man's mind may be likened to a garden, which may be intelligently cultivated or allowed to run wild. But whether cultivated or neglected, it must and will bring forth. If no useful seeds are put into it, then an abundance of useless weed seeds will fall therein and will continue to produce their kind. So yes, think of your mind like a garden, okay? So if you are in control and you're watching, like you said in the previous chapter, then you are cultivating and you're doing it intelligently because you got control of what's going on versus, every little person comes up to you, every little song you hear or TV show you watch, whatever you're putting in there, it's just running wild and you just go on with that. So you don't even have your own thoughts and control. You're just letting everything go in and bring forth. And it's going to produce, is what he's saying. Whether you are in control and you're cultivating it or you just allowing the BS to run wild and your thoughts being negative or anyone else's thoughts being poured into you, and you just letting it run wild, it's going to bring forth whatever those thoughts are. So if they are thoughts of abundance, thoughts of success, that's what you're focused on, and that's what you're going to put yourself in a circumstance to do. This is what you're thinking. If you're thinking the opposite of that, unsuccess, lack, that is what you are going to produce, okay? Beautiful. Oh. See another one. I love this book so much, y'all. I'm going to read it again. All right. Every man is where he is by the law of his being. The thoughts which he has built into his character have brought him there. And in the arrangement of his life, there is no element of chance, but all is a result of a law which cannot err. This is just as true of those who feel out of harmony when their surroundings as of those who are contented with them. So here, let's break this down. So we all are where we at because of the law in our being, okay? So whether you're happy, you're sad, you got money, you don't got money, whatever it is in between, is by the law of your being. The thoughts that you built into your character, they brought you there. So it might not be your thoughts right now. Maybe your thoughts 6 months ago, or 3 months ago, or years ago. You are feeling the fruits of those thoughts. But all the result of law which cannot err. So law is the law. It's not going to mess up. It is what it is. Don't do what it's do. Okay? So you feel out of harmony with your surroundings. That's because that's what you was thinking. If you content with it, that's what you was thinking. He said what he said. I don't know. All right, let's go to the next one. Man is buffeted by circumstances so long as he believes himself to be the creature of outside conditions. But when he realizes that he is a creative power and that he may command the hidden soil and seeds of his being out of which circumstances grow, he then becomes the rightful master of himself. So what he's saying is, so many of us think, like I said earlier, that it's the outside circumstances that put us in the conditions that we in. You got to realize the power that you have. A lot of us don't know the power of our thoughts and of our minds. So we need to realize that and master yourself, okay? Because we all got our issues and things that have happened outside of our control that takes our power away, I would say. It makes us believe that we don't have power, that these circumstances have, but you got the power still, okay? To overcome and to still use your thoughts to make your life how you want it to be. So know your power and know yourself. Master that stuff. Don't let the outside circumstances buffet you. I love that. Use that word. Okay? We all gonna get buffeted sometimes. You gotta buff it back. Okay? All right, next paragraph. The soul attracts that which it secretly harbors, that which it loves, and also that which it fears. It reaches the height of its cherished aspirations. It falls to the level of its unchastened desires, and circumstances are the means by which the soul receives its own. That's good. So, whatever in your soul, what you really like love, that's what you're gonna get. And that has happened for me. I do know, like, if I really write something down, something I really, really want, I end up getting it. And also the things that I fear and that I'm worried about the most, a lot of times they end up happening. Maybe not that day or that month or whatever, but they end up manifesting. Okay? Even if it's like a fear of like lack of, or I'm not gonna have enough money. Because if you're trying to manifest money, you can't have that feeling and that like desperation, feel like I don't have no money, oh my God. So you're not gonna manifest. You have to already have that feeling of like I got money, I'm abundant. Like if that's what you want to attract. Okay? So you can't go into it with being fearful that you're not gonna find anybody, that you're not going to, be successful at whatever that you're trying to accomplish. Let the fears go, because if you're worried about the fear, that's what you're gonna attract. And it's going to reach the cherished aspirations that he said. All right. The outer world of circumstance shapes itself to the inner world of thought. And both pleasant and unpleasant external conditions are factors which make for the ultimate good of the individual. As the reaper of his own harvest, man learns both by suffering and bliss. Now this one hit me right here, because I don't want to hear all about the suffering stuff. I'm like, everything's supposed to be good. That's just not reality, okay? Like he said, the suffering and the bliss are to make you better, for you to learn, okay? It's for your good, whether you believe it or not. Of course, we're not going to feel that way when we're going through the circumstances. But a lot of the experience that I had were not that happy. It taught me a lot about myself. It taught me how resilient I can be, that I can, that I can grow and move past things, that I can still have joy after going through, a tough situation or being hurt or betrayed, that I can love again, that I'm malleable, that I can be resilient, okay? And it also teaches you to appreciate, I feel like, when things are good, you appreciate it more. Like when you don't have no money, when you broke, and then you get some money, it's like, yes, like I got this money. Well, some of us, we just blow it and get the all stuff we want, but we're not going to talk about that. But you know what I mean, okay? You appreciate it when you finally get some money. It's nice. It feels good. You got something to compare it to, okay? When you've been lonely, and then you finally meet somebody that you really like, it's like, wow, like, oh my God, I want to go. I appreciate it. I'm grateful. It makes you more grateful. Helps you to see your resilience, okay? Other good stuff too. The point is, it's for your good, and you're gonna learn something. All right, so This is a long one, you guys, that I'm going to read, but I really like this one. A man does not come to the almshouse or the jail by the tyranny of fate or circumstance, but by the pathway of groveling thoughts and base desire. Nor does a pure-minded man fall suddenly into crime by stress of any mere external force. The criminal thought had long been secretly fostered in the heart, and the hour of opportunity revealed its gathered power. Circumstance does not make the man. It reveals him to himself. No such conditions can exist as descending into vice and its attendant sufferings apart from vicious inclinations, or ascending into virtue and its pure happiness without the continued cultivation of virtuous aspirations. And man, therefore, as the Lord and Master of thought, is the maker of himself, the shaper and author of environment. Even at birth, the soul comes to its own, and through every step of its earthly pilgrimage, it attracts those combinations of conditions which reveal itself, which are the reflections of its own purity and impurity, its strength and weakness. Men do not attract that which they want, but that which they are. What? Did y'all hear that? Okay, this is a lot to go over. Let's do. So he said you didn't end up in jail by some craziness or fate or circumstance. It was by your groveling thoughts and your base desires. It brought you there. The pure-minded didn't bring you there. He said, the pure-minded did just suddenly fall into crime by stress. Like you already was having this thought to do in your heart is what he's saying. So even though a person can seem like they're really good and everything, they may have this secret thought of wanting to do something bad, and it was already there. So it just didn't pop up out of anywhere. So your circumstance is not what makes you, but reveals who you really are. So it's just like a person, like say you're in a relationship and you like, oh, I'm this faithful person or whatever, but then the opportunity comes for, like somebody says, maybe somebody comes up to you and wants to start something with you. They want to hit on you, whatever. So it's how you react in that moment. So you could have already been thinking about if somebody comes up to you and hits on you, what you're going to do. So if you thought, yeah, I want to try that, that was already in your thought to do that. The opportunity just didn't ever come to you. So in that moment, what you decide is going to reveal what you really want to do, who you really are. Are you really this faithful person, or you just didn't have the opportunity? The right opportunity just didn't come. All right. So no such conditions can exist as descending into vice and it attended sufferings apart from vicious inclinations, or ascending into virtue. So basically he's saying too, like, you've been working on this, I've been thinking this for a while. If you want to become the master of your thought and yourself, it's a continued cultivation. And same thing with the opposite. You already been thinking this for a long time. It's just like I said earlier, like 3 months, 6 months later, or whatever, how long you've been thinking like this. How much effort did you put into these thoughts? So, like he said, which are the reflections of your own purity or impurity, your strength or your weakness, is going to come out over time, whatever those happen to be. So you're not going to just attract what you want. You're going to attract what you are. So if you are a good, positive person, that's what you're going to attract. If you are just constantly thinking negative and having these bad thoughts, that's what you're going to get. So it's about what you are. Like, you are what you eat. Not what you want, what you are. So what type of person are you? You are your thoughts. All right, next excerpt. So not what he wishes and prays for does a man get, but what he justly earns. His wishes and prayers are only gratified and answered when they harmonize with his thoughts and actions. So to me, that reminds me like the Bible verse of like not praying and worrying, like that song, J Moss. Okay, you don't pray and worry. Like if you really don't believe what you're praying or what you're manifesting or what you're thinking, if your thoughts and also he said your actions too don't line up with it, then it's not going to happen. So it's like you need a job and you thinking that you want a job, you really don't believe it, and you ain't putting no action into it, you ain't doing no applications, you ain't gonna get no job. So you can wish and pray all day, you can manifest, but you have to constantly think that. Just don't think it in the moment. What are you doing consistently to make this come about? Because if you go and you pray or you manifest, but do you worry about the same thing a few minutes later, what you really do? If you're still thinking, all of that is erased because of all the negative thoughts that you had after that. All the lack of action. Okay? Like if you want to lose weight, you pray, lose weight. Trying to manifest, I want to lose weight. But you keep thinking, I'm out of shape, I'm this, I'm never going to eat right, blah, blah, blah. Just all this negative stuff. And then you just eating all this junk food. Or you overeating your calories, not counting them, whatever. It's just not going to happen. So get those thoughts and actions in line with what you're praying and what you're manifesting. Everything got to be in line. Here is a man who is wretchedly poor. He is extremely anxious that his surroundings and home comfort should be improved. Yet all the time he shirks his work and considers he is justified in trying to deceive his employer on the ground of the insufficiency of his wages. He ain't get paid enough. Such a man does not understand the simplest rudiments of those principles which are the basis of true prosperity, and is not only totally unfitted to rise out of his wretchedness, but is actually attracting to himself a still deeper wretchedness by dwelling in and acting out indolent, deceptive, and unmanly thoughts. So he doesn't see his part in being poor. He don't even really want to work like that. And you want to complain about your employer, but what are you doing? Are you trying to start your own business? Are you trying to work better so you get a raise? Like, you just want to complain and not be happy with what you got. When your true prosperity comes from inside your mind, and then that will flow out. And you will start to come up with ideas, things that you could do, instead of just complaining and being sad and unmanly. Now, let's talk about the rich man. Here is a rich man who is the victim of a painful and persistent disease as a result of gluttony. He is willing to give large sums of money to get rid of it, but he will not sacrifice his gluttonous desires. He wants to gratify his taste for rich and unnatural viands and have his health as well. Such a man is totally unfit to have health because he has not yet learned the first principles of a healthy life. So you just want to be lazy because you got money and pay for some medicine or some quick thing to get rid of it. But it's from you eating bad. And instead of getting in control of your thoughts and getting control of your diet, you rather just pay some money, take some little pill or something, or whatever they did back then. Take some syrup, I don't know, and get rid of it. So you're not going to be healthy. You're not going to get it because your thoughts ain't right. You don't have no control. You're not watching and altering the thoughts. So I like those two examples. Those are really good to me. All right. Yeah, but let me know which ones that y'all liked. I know it's a lot. It would have been easier if I could have went live, but whatever. Circumstances, however, are so complicated. Thought is so deeply rooted, and the conditions of happiness vary so vastly with individuals that a man's entire soul condition, although it may be known to himself, cannot be judged by another from the external aspect of his life alone. A man may be honest in certain directions, yet suffer privations. A man may be dishonest in certain directions, yet acquire wealth. But the conclusion usually formed that the one man fails because of his particular honesty. So we usually assume because you're too honest, you're too this, that's why you can't get ahead. And that the other person prospers because of his particular dishonesty. So, because a lot of people think, well, people who have money are rich, they're scamming or, doing something that's not cool, is the result of a superficial judgment. So he's saying it's a superficial way to look at things because there is a gray area in this situation. So let's hear what he's going to say. Which assumes that the dishonest man is almost totally corrupt and the honest man almost entirely virtuous. See that? So what we're thinking is, okay, you just a corrupt, just rich, like rich guy. You just scamming people. And then the honest man, we just, oh, you just so good, so honest. Why can't you get ahead? I don't know. In the light of a deep knowledge and wider experience, such judgment is found to be erroneous. The dishonest man may have some admirable virtues which the other does not. Which the other does, I'm sorry. So the dishonest man may have some admirable virtues which the other does not possess, and the honest man obnoxious vices which are absent in the other. The honest man reaps the good results of his honest thoughts and acts. He also brings upon himself the sufferings which his vices produce. And the dishonest man, likewise, garners his own suffering and happiness. So he's saying there's a balance in between. So maybe this person is better with money, and their vices cause other issues in their life. Vice versa, the honest man, he may have other good things in his life that are going well from the things that he does well, but there are some vices that he has that's causing him to be not as successful. So there's a balance there. It's not all black and white. Good thoughts and actions can never produce bad results. Bad thoughts and actions can never produce good results. Let's read that again. Good thoughts and actions can never produce bad results. Bad thoughts and actions can never produce good results. I need to hear that. I need to get my life together. I need to read this again. I need to read this every day. This is but saying that nothing can come from corn but corn. Nothing from nettles but nettles. You plant some corn, you're going to get corn. You plant an apple tree, you're going to get apples. Okay? So you plant crap, you're going to get crap in your mind. If you think good, you're going to get good. Okay? And if you do good things, that's how it works. So I think when the circumstances happen, it changes us. We lose that power, and then we start to lower ourselves and do these negative things and have these negative thoughts and actions. But you have to stay on course. You have to stay in your power, which is to do good thoughts and good actions, to keep those good things coming to you regardless of whatever is going on around you or who did what around you. Okay? Men understand this law in the natural world, and we work with it, but few understand it in the mental and moral world. Though its operation there is just as simple and undeviating, and they therefore do not cooperate with it. Why don't we cooperate? Y'all need to read this book. Get this book, okay? This is good. Anyway, what we got next here? So the circumstances which a man encounters with suffering are the result of his own mental inharmony. The circumstances which a man encounters with blessedness are the result of his own mental harmony. Blessedness, not material possessions, is the measure of right thought. Wretchedness, not lack of material possessions, is a measure of wrong thought. A man can be cursed and rich. He may be blessed and poor. Blessedness and riches are only joined together when the riches are rightly and wisely used. And the poor man only descends into wretchedness when he regards his lot as a burden unjustly imposed. I have to ruminate on that. So you can be rich and you can be cursed, and you can be poor and be blessed. That's what he's saying. So it's not about the material possession. It's about the thought behind it. Because we know of many rich people, they got everything in the world. It seems like they were happy, but they are not happy. And that's what this reminds me of right here. Because it all starts in the mind, baby. In the mind. Y'all don't get this head together. I love this. This is one of my favorites, I think. Blessedness, not material possessions, is the measure of right thought. So when your thoughts are right, that's when you're really blessed. Not about how much you have in your possession. That's not how you measure success, really. It's what do you think about your life? What do you think about you, who you are? You can have everything in the world, but if your thoughts are wrong, you're cursed. Curse your own self. I just love that. Okay. go to the next part. A man only begins to be a man when he ceases to whine and revile and commences to search for the hidden justice which regulates his life. And as he adapts his mind to that regulating factor, he ceases to accuse others as the cause of his condition and builds himself up in strong and noble thoughts, ceases to kick against circumstances, but begins to use them as aids to his more rapid progress and as a means of discovering the hidden powers and possibilities within himself. So he said you only really become a man, or I would say, a mature man, when you stop whining and reviling about everything. Search for the hidden justice. Why it's happening. What did I do in the past? Maybe in the past life. There's a reason why it's happening. Everything always balances out. So you have to figure out the lesson, the reason why. Stop accusing other people of your condition. Build yourself up in thought and mind. Stop kicking against these things that happen to you, because that's not going to help you. He said to use it as aid. Use that stuff to motivate you to be better, to discover your hidden power and possibility within yourself. He said these situations, these circumstances is going to show you your power and the possibilities within yourself. How resilient can you be? How loving can you be? Can you be merciful? Can you make something out of nothing? Okay? What can you do in this circumstance? This is a long chapter. Let a man radically alter his thoughts, and he will be astonished at the rapid transformation it will affect in the material conditions of his life. Men imagine that thoughts can be kept secret, but it cannot. It rapidly crystallizes into habit, and habit solidifies into circumstance. Did y'all hear that? You think your thoughts can be covered up. You think they're in secret, but not really. They're going to come out in your habits. What you do daily, what you do weekly, monthly, is going to be shown. Because that habit is going to solidify into a circumstance. And then I'm not going to read all what he's talking about. He's talking about that having drunkenness, sensuality, good things that will end up being okay. So drunkenness and sensuality, he's saying that can turn into destitution and disease. So the habit is the drunkenness and the sensuality. The circumstance you end up in is being destitute and having that STD. So the thought started it. Turned it to the habit. You thought, I want to get drunk today. So you start drinking. And you just keep doing it. I just feel good. I'm drinking. Now you're destitute. And you like, why am I destitute? Because you want to drink every day and be drunk. Like, what are you talking about? Well, the same thing happens with good things, okay? So, if you have the beautiful thoughts of habits like, and then you have the habit of grace and being kind, you end up having better circumstances. Things go better for you. You're not stressed out because you're a graceful and kind person. Okay? So, the thoughts create the habits. The habits take you into your circumstance. So, once again, if you get to the start, to the root, to control your thoughts, then you can get in control of your habits and make better habits. And then you have better circumstances. But have to start with the thoughts. A particular train of thought persisted in, be it good or bad, cannot fail to produce its results on the character and circumstance. A man cannot directly choose his circumstances, but he can choose his thoughts, and so indirectly, yet surely, shape his circumstances. So your thoughts indirectly control your circumstance. So even though, like, we know circumstances happen, you will be better able to deal with them and you have better control of them, and indirectly so have these better circumstances, if over time your thoughts and habits are better. If you have a thought that you want to start saving money and have better finances, and then your habit becomes to save money on a regular basis, if you have a circumstance where you need money to get something done, car repair, emergency, health, whatever, you have the money to take care of it. You don't have to be stressed and not without a car or whatever, or be destitute because you never started the thought and the habit to save your money to make sure that you're covered. So those circumstances will be different for two different people. So one person is just spending all their money, just blowing money, thinking negatively, not worried about saving, whatever. So when something happens, now they destitute because they made this bad habit of overspending. Don't do that. So that's looks like the last one that I had saved, you guys. Hope you enjoyed these first two chapters. I just went over a couple of paragraphs. So the next video I should be able to do live. I'll do chapter 3 and 4. I really love this book. Once again, it's As a Man Thinketh. It has an extra book added into it, written in 1902 by James Allen. Very good book. And I hope you guys learned something from it. Please comment. Let me know anything that stood out to you, what you thought. If you enjoyed this type of content, I'm gonna still do it anyway because I have fun and I love books. But let me know if y'all enjoyed it so I can get some feedback on what y'all think. And I just hope y'all have a wonderful day, okay? Think good thoughts. Work on your habits. I'm about to do the same. Drink me some water, eat some fruit, and do some yoga or something. Y'all have a wonderful and blessed day. I enjoy doing this. See y'all next time.